We got one more topic to bring up. And so Aesop Rocky, if you guys are familiar with another rapper, I think he's from Jersey actually. Another kind of rapper that great first album, and then he in
He's a
and out.
fashionista now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a fashion, and he's the most
Yeah.
luckiest man on the planet. He got Rihanna pregnant.
Oh, let's not
Congratulations to
listen,
him,
dude.
jerk.
What a,
Yeah, how? Anyway,
Rihanna's next level. I'll just say.
yeah, right. And
She's
he
an
picks.
alien.
I mean, she didn't look at his catalog before she decided. Anyway, he must be a good person. So, he says rap has been stuck in adolescence since Soldier Boy. Again, I'm not even caring about the Soldier Boy thing. And then Soldier Boy said something back. It doesn't matter. I'm not a fan of Soldier Boy either.
No.
But he says, has rap lost or did not gain maturity? So I kind of thought about like, is hip hop has a maturity issue? I'm looking at how a lot of these rappers, and you could type in rappers who passed away 2021. So many, some of you don't even know, right? All from gang violence or drugs. Obviously what happened with Nipsey Hussle a couple years ago. Obviously what happened in the 90s, Tupac and Biggie. I'm looking at other genres. Maybe, okay, rock, sure, drugs. Other than that, they're not killing.
In rock, you got a lot of drugs.
Yeah, a lot of drugs. Like that. A lot of drugs. In pop music, some drugs like Britney still seems weird to me. I know she's been emancipated. She's still weird to me. But hip hop is the only genre where we just be killing each other. We just fighting and even like Freddie Gibbs. I love that rapper. Him is getting jumped. He's almost 40 years old. We're getting jumped. Like a 4-year-old man should not be getting jumped anywhere.
No.
So it's like, does hip hop have a maturity issue? Like, what's your thoughts?
Yes, a little bit. I if I'm being honest, I when you sent me that and looked at it, I'm like, man, okay, I didn't really think about it. But then I'm thinking back to be honest, Hannibal, I think it's a cultural, sometimes it's a cultural issue. And I think a lot of people that come from a beginning of not having and feeling they need to impress, feeling they need to show their worth, and get attention, and they want affirmation. I think a lot of that's in the hip hop community and culture. And it's a little sad because, within hip hop, because you can talk about rock and other, and some of those people have gold chains and they're fancy, and the cowboys got the boots and the cowboy hats. Like, each genre has their own thing of stepping out and looking.
Excess.
Yes.
Excess.
But excess, yeah. Right. We all have it. But the hip hop community definitely takes it one level above most, I think. And purchasing and having things and talking about things you don't even own, or you're renting this car but you say it's your car, the videos and the big booty hoes, and you're dancing on a Rolls Royce and you got a Bentley and none of it's theirs. And so it's definitely, there's a maturity issue there. I think it's not with all, but overall I think an outsider looking in looks at some of these people and it looks like they're immature. Like, I think there's that stigma there, and I see it a little bit. It's not with all artists, but with a lot of them. And I think that rubs some people the wrong way. And that's why hip hop is always kind of, it's coming now. It's, it's in the mainstream now. It is. It's everywhere. But it took a little bit of time. And there's still a lot of people that don't like that kind of music, that kind of message, the beats. They don't like the way the people look. They don't like this. They don't like that. Maybe they don't like the gold teeth and the chains. And, like, there's definitely some maturity issues there. I think a lot of it also is there tends to be more beef within that community genre of music than any other. You have it in other, but not like hip hop. So it's always a one man trying to prove another guy wrong. It's a cultural thing. It just is. You don't see these country stars beefing. You don't see.
It's nowhere near the level of the way hip hop is. It's sad because you can just every couple of days you can look at a rapper, and again, it may not be mainstream. You may not even know who they are, but it's like rapper killed, got shot, because they still influence. A lot of the music incorporates gang culture. I mean, there was this one song, was it Who I Smoke? They're literally talking about people who have been killed.
Yeah.
That they're basically stepping on because they're like, yeah, all your friends died. It's like, wow. That like how there don't seem like it'd be an ending to this because it's lucrative. You know, I'm sure some music exec looked at that song, knew what they're talking about, and still wanted to put it out
Well,
because he wants
sure.
to make money.
Well,
Whether a
sure.
more responsible person like, yo, what's going on over here?
But
Is
some
this
of
a
it,
good
you know,
idea?
it's artist interpretation. So some you could say a lot of things on a mic, and who knows if it's true or not. And you can always say it's a song, it's a song. So some
Yeah,
of it could be true, and those murders could have happened, and these crimes could be. So it's a weird place, you know. In hip hop, even back in the day, you'd have the guys that were rapping. They were actually rapping about the other people around them that actually were in the life, and they
right.
weren't. But you know, they're talking about the streets, they're talking about their hood, you know, and you know, it is what it is. Now, I feel like a lot of rappers are maybe they're talking about what they've actually done. It's hard to tell, but it seems like they're really coming from a place of experience,
Yeah,
and people soak that stuff up.
yeah.
And you know, it's definitely a maturity issue. But I think there's so much money in hip hop now, like there wasn't before, that people are just gravitating towards that money, and they're going to make songs and whatever because they know they're going to get the downloads and they're going to get the sponsorship deals. And I think that's where it's coming from. And you know, it's a little sad, to be
It
honest. But
is. There's a Brooklyn rapper, Bobby Shmurda, that basically went to
yeah,
jail for several years, and a lot of the issues was he was literally rapping about crimes that his group committed. Like that was a lot of
well,
it
they
was
were
based.
able to prove it though with
He was
him.
able
You
to
know what I'm
prove it
saying?
as
Like,
well,
yeah,
but it was
yeah,
like they connected it because like it happens way too often. I think it was even a funny joke, a funny story about a guy rapping about robbing ATMs and got caught robbing an ATM. You know what I mean? Like just stupid, dumb ideas.
dumb.
And for every rap like Jay-Z and Nas that been through the immature stuff and became mature men, you would hope that everyone gets that point. But if you can't even be alive to get to that point, to get to your 40s, to get to your your
Yeah,
50s, you know, it's going to be a problem. And I'll say the same thing always when someone's getting killed. Like this happened a couple of years ago. A rapper named Chinks. You may not even know who he is.
Jinx.
French Montana. They that was like one of his artists, something like that.
Okay, okay.
Um, he gets killed in his neighborhood in Queens. But it's like, why are you there? Like, why are you still in this hood that you've in his, really probably some sports car getting shot up?
Do you think some people, is this a thing in the hip hop industry? They're afraid to come back to the hood. You know, some rappers will go back to the hood and
Don't come back.
they'll vlog it and like brag, I'm in my hood. Where y'all at? Like I'm here. I'm here. You know, the one
Yeah.
dude does that. Takasha, what's that dude? 6ix9ine. Like he's
Oh,
always
he don't do
saying
it
some
anymore. He
garbage.
doesn't do it anymore now.
Well, but he used to, you know.
Used to, yeah,
But
used
yeah,
to.
but like, you know, I think sometimes some of the guys that stayed in the hood, they want that clout from the hood. So they say, I snatched his chain, I killed him, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
crazy.
it's just about getting recognition for taking down somebody that was popular. I don't know. It's immaturity. You know,
Yeah,
and
definition.
and maybe even sometimes you're going back to your hood and you forgot 12 years ago, you disrespected a dude, and well, he's still in that hood living that life. You might get got, right? And
Yeah.
you know that there's some of that too. We don't know the stories behind all that, but
Don't
it's
ever come
it's
back.
it's sad. It's sad. It's yeah. I mean,
Don't ever like if I was a manager, this rap like don't ever come. No, come back when the mayor's there, handing you the key because you gave enough turkeys to the folks. That's when you go back. You know they got the mayor secured
yeah, a
up.
little
That's when
security
you jump
there.
in.
You know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I kind of look at 50 Cent the way he practiced. I think he did kind of he kind of came back around Queens for a second, but he ain't going to the South Side. Why?
Not without 7 bodyguards, he's not, and I
So
wouldn't if I was him either.
yeah, I mean, he was literally almost murdered. So actually, that's more of a concrete example of
Yeah,
don't come. What's the point? You are no longer. It's sad. You are no longer the same person. You have too many resources. You have to protect your resources. Obviously, namely your life. People are stuck in this situation with hopelessness, especially right now, right? Like the mental health issues. People are hopeless, and when they're hopeless, they're willing to do very aggressive things to feel like they can get out of that, or at least feel better. And then seeing you with the chains on and the whip, and you in here, even if you gave some money out, there'd be one guy that'd be like, "You didn't give out enough."
yep,
Or we need to rob.
yeah.
It's not a smart situation. So like I would definitely preach to anyone who makes it. Don't come back. You can still donate and do charities. Come back when the politician's there. Yeah, it
Well, I
may not
think,
seem
yeah.
gangster, but you will protect your most valuable resources,
Well,
your life.
at the end of the day, I think another issue and that men have, regardless of genre or what kind of artist you are and what genre, we have pride and ego issues. And
Mhm.
we want to go back to the hood to show people that I can still go to the hood and walk around with my chain on. Like, you know, you want to get snuffed, like you want to, you want to die. You got kids, you got, are you thinking just about yourself? And I think men, we tend to do that sometimes. We let our
Yeah,
ego get in the way, our pride. We want to show off, show out. And at the end of the day, I think if you want to go back to your hood, you want to make a difference. Like you said, you go back, you do things, you have the proper security. Who cares how people think if they think that that's weak? You're still alive, right? For the people
yeah,
that really matter, right? The little
yeah.
guys in the hood don't matter, because if they matter, they'd be with you right now on your team, making a difference, right? So,
Security is extremely important.
yeah, you got to have security. I mean, it, it just doesn't make sense, and I think a lot of it's a maturity thing, it's an ego thing, and it's a pride thing.
Yeah, and especially in the culture, especially in Chicago. Who
So,
knows how
man,
to solve that problem? I mean,
you
the amount
can't.
of Chicago rappers that I've seen, again, I don't even know too many of them, but a lot of the local ones, like what they call it Chirac, right? It's not a hyperbolic gesture. That's what's going. There's too many people. There's too many people dying. Too many people getting shot.
It's
It
bad,
was like,
man.
and I'll give props to what's that one Chicago rapper? He doesn't know a lot of stuff, but he was like 16. He blew up.
Chance the Rapper.
No, Kanye had something with him. He has
Uh,
dreads.
oh, he Vince Mency.
No,
Not
no.
that guy.
Sosa. He made a song
I can't
"Loves."
remember.
Let me
Can't remember.
let me look it up right now. Yeah, because he left. He left and he didn't come back. Chief Keef. He
Oh, Chief
left.
Keef. Okay.
That's why he's still alive. He left. He was like, okay,
Yeah.
what the purpose of me still being around? Like, I'm sure he's probably flashing it here and there, but someone got into his head, like, get out. You stay there because first of all, you're already gang affiliated. You already been through this already at 16 or some crazy young age.
Yeah.
Don't come back because whatever you've done, no one forgot it. The people who you've done it to didn't forget because
Yeah.
you're, famous and whatever. Like, I think he stopped making music a lot, but that's what you really need to do. It's like when you make it, you got to protect your resources. That's the only point I have. You got to protect your resource, protect your wealth. Wealth is what you don't see. So you renting out Bugattis and Bentleys and you're renting out IG models. That's not wealth. You're spending money.
No,
Right?
yeah, like we talked about on one of the first episodes. We talked about the Kendrick Lamar album and breaking the generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
Don't that's what these guys should be doing. Put your pride and ego to the side. Forget about sitting on your stoop and being what you think is a man, and get out of that situation to make your future generations better. And you can't do that if you're not alive, because the money stops coming in.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So if you want to feel like a man because I'm on the same stoop when I was 16, I'm still slanging out here, I'm still gang affiliated. That's it's a very closed minded way to think. You should want to get out and empower and better your family and your community. And you can't you could do that and do it in the hood, but like look at the examples. Nipsey Hussle was doing it and he made a lot of great things happen, but look what happened to him.
Just
Like
yeah.
we have to understand that, and that's no slight on him, but we have to understand when you get to a certain level, you got to move different, and you
Yeah.
have to understand people are going to come after you and they're going to want things from you, and you're not going to make everybody happy. And you mentioned Chirac, like we're getting ready in Chicago. I was born in Chicago. I still have a lot of family in Chicago. 4th of July weekend is in Chicago is like the number one weekend for murders in the entire country. So probably up to 20 people will lose their life for stupid reasons, not this weekend, but the weekend next coming up. And
Yeah.
it's always been like that in Chicago. The police know it, everybody knows it, but people still hang out. Their pride and their ego get in the way. They're still showing out. They're still in their whip. They're doing this. They're drinking. They're whatever. And there's going to be about 20 people that will sadly die, and it's crazy, and
Yeah.
it's usually for nothing. It's
Yeah. Glad that we talked about this because I think that's something we gotta continue to talk about. And it's like trying to figure out what to do. And it's easy to just to say, what to do and what not to do. But I know when I was 20, and not necessarily me because I was a nerd, but when someone gave me all that money, of course I would do stupid things with it. Like
oh
the idea,
sure,
like I'm gonna invest it, like that wouldn't even be.
No.
I wouldn't be in my mind. I would
You're
have to
gonna
have
go to the
someone
club,
old.
you're gonna pop a
Yeah.
bottle, you get this big booty girl to come sit on your lap.
The
Like that's what
biggest
20-year-olds
one
do.
I can find and afford. Like the biggest one. Like, come
The
over here.
biggest one.
You know,
Hannibal wants the big booties.
but you would hope that there's some elders there, someone older, or at least someone you already looked up to. That's why I do love Jay-Z and Nas and how they become, I mean, just mature, but
They
like
transition, man.
successful moguls, business people who, yeah, they show their stuff, but still classy. They're not necessarily because they've already been through that. They've drove every car.
They grew up. They grew up. I mean, they
Yeah,
grew up, you know.
they have their kids. That's what's more important. Like Jay-Z at the game, hugging on his daughter.
Yeah,
And
that
his
was
daughter's
cool.
so old now to a point where like, yo, get off me, dad. And he still didn't care because that's what I love about being a father. You live to embarrass your kids. You're like, come over here. I don't give a damn. You're my dad. You're my kid.
Facts. Yeah.
And I love that scene. So, and I love we're gonna go back to the NBA real quick, but Gary Payton and his son winning, I felt like he was happier for his son
than when he
winning
won.
than he won.
Yeah.
Because just the way he was beaming, you just see in his face, proud of his, and the son made an impact. He wasn't just showing up. When he got back in the game, he put some
playing.
points up, and
Yeah, he was
defense is locked down. And so, that's what that's what I like. I like that. I like, proud fathers taking care of their kids because, we had Father's Day a couple of days ago, but we need more of that in our culture. We need to change the culture.